signed a lease that ended when my daughter was about 4 months. It's gonna be a story time of how mustard ended my 5-year relationship and engagement. Yes, I'm talking about like mustard, like the condiment mustard ended my relationship. Let's set the scene. At this particular point in my relationship, my child's father and I hadn't been doing the best. Okay, backstory. When I got pregnant, we signed a lease that ended when my daughter was about 4 months. We moved back into his mom's house for 6 months. And when my daughter was 10 months old, we moved out of his mom's house and back into a new apartment. So when we were at his mom's house, things got really sticky because we kind of felt like we weren't able to be ourselves, express our connection.
Let me tell you about an app called Free Cash. Free Cash is the #1 app worldwide, allowing users like yourself to make money off their phone for free. If you want to make $200 plus a week for free, download using my link in the description or the QR code on the screen. If you download now for free using my link or QR code, you will get a free $5 into your account for free. That's $5 for free, no requirements. So download Free Cash today to make easy, quick, and free money.
I wasn't able to cook the way I wanted to cook. There was just things that we couldn't do in our relationship that I just felt if we had our own place again, they wouldn't be a problem. And he kind of agreed. And so when we got this new place, the expectation was just that. It was that, I would start cooking. He would start showing up and being present more often. We would just be able to go back to being who we were in our old apartment. Wrong. Obviously, when we were at his mom's house, we didn't have to pay rent. When we got into this new apartment, it was a 2-bedroom. It was a little bit expensive. He's working a lot. He's a barber, so he was trying his best to, make enough money to where we were able to move into this apartment. At the time, I was not working. It was summertime. I was a substitute teacher, and I didn't have a job. Every day I was in the apartment with my daughter. When he would come home, he would either go straight to like the little game room that we had or straight to the balcony. And yes, like he would greet me, he would say hey to the baby, but that was like the end of the interaction. Every day for a week, I was doing things by myself. I filled up the apartment with groceries by myself, and as a 10-month-old, I put the TV stand together by myself. I unpacked the closet by myself. I felt like
Damn, shorty, you gotta do something. He's paying the rent. According to you, the rent is a bit expensive. This is a man who was living rent-free with his mom. You drove him to move out and get an apartment. Now you're complaining about doing simple stuff. This is wild, bruh.
that we could have been doing together or like as a family, I was doing alone. Now looking back on it, maybe it was my responsibility to just do those things by myself. At the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. One day when he got home from work, I ended up mentioning like kind of just how I felt about everything that we had going on. I just felt like he wasn't really being present in the house. I was doing a lot of things on my own. And he also felt a type of way. He felt like, when he comes home from work, there should be food on the table. And there wasn't food on the table that first week. I was kind of just surviving. It felt like I wasn't really cooking. We either went to his mom's house for food every day or we went out. He was telling me like we can't afford things like that. So he's stressing financially. I'm stressing emotionally. At the end of the night, that night, after having that brawl conversation, I ended up in a deep prayer conversation with God. The end of my prayer to him, and I vividly remember this, was that if I am to stay in this relationship, make it blatantly clear. Make it so obvious and clear. But if I am to leave, make it even clearer. That one, just make it so clear for me to know whether or not I'm meant to be in this relationship or I need to leave, period. I kid you not. The next day, same thing happens. I'm in the house all day with my child. He comes home. Hey, walks over to his video game room, shuts the door. Because he had said something the day before about me not cooking, I thought, I'm just gonna make the most extravagant, crazy thing that you've ever thought of. Like, I'm just gonna make something so crazy just for that. So I decided to make turkey burgers. I've never made them before, but I was like, we ball, let's just do it. I make these turkey burgers. My daughter goes over to her grandma's house. We try to enjoy a meal together. I bring him his turkey burgers and some condiments, and, I set everything up kind of. I'm eating my food. He's playing the video game, so he's not even eating. And if you're a lady, like you just kind of like over to make sure like it's good or whatever. And he still hadn't touched nothing. So I'm like sitting there like, dang, like I just tried my best. There's not even any type of appreciation I felt like. So why would I even why would I cook every day? So finally he gets off of his
Like, you know what is crazy? And this is why I always say you can't save a bird, because a bird will find a reason to return back to the streets. Think about this entire story. According to her, they had moved in with his mother. Obviously, things probably was a bit tough financially. So the wise thing to do was get your funds up and then move out. But she rushed him to move up because she couldn't cook and use the kitchen like she wanted to. So she forced him to get a new crib. So mentally, he got to be focused because he got to come home from work, wake up, and do that same shit again tomorrow. So he got to be focused so he could be able to be productive at his job. That's what a man got to do to pay his bills. However, he housed a bird. He's coming home to a bird every day who doesn't understand where he's at mentally. And she's just at the crib getting restless. She don't know what to do with herself because in her mind, oh, this is a cage. I'm a cage bird. I want to be free. So she's just making shit up in her head to return back to the streets, man. That's just the life of a bird. She's not built to be a girlfriend or a wife. That's just the reality, man.
game. I already finished eating and everything. I'm sitting there behind him on my phone. He's like, "Was the mustard good on the sandwich?" And I'm like, "Mm-hmm." He's like, "Okay, pass me the mustard." So I pass him this bottle of mustard and he opens it and he looks at me and he chuckles and he's like, "The mustard's not open." And I'm like, "Huh?" And he's like, "It's not, it's sealed." And I was like, "Hmm, interesting." He was like, "Why did you just lie to me about mustard?" And I was like, "Well, if I'm being honest, I just thought you weren't going to eat the sandwich. So if putting mustard on the sandwich made you eat the sandwich, then that's why I told you that mustard was going to be good on the sandwich." And he just lost it. He was like, "If you could lie to me about something so small like that, then what else are you lying about?" Valid, fair point. Valid point. In all of this, I'm trying to plead my case. At some point, he literally went silent and walked out the door. Didn't say a thing about getting my baby, didn't say a thing about what we were doing for the rest of the night. Like, didn't say anything at all, just left. Left me in my apartment. Left me in my apartment alone, but I did not feel alone. In that moment, God showed up and was like, "That's your sign." I guarantee, like, I felt so clearly, clear as day, that
Oh,
him leaving the
bro.
house in the
This
heat
shit
of the
is
moment right
crazy.
there was my sign that, like, this was not, this one ain't gonna be the one. I was just like, "Okay, God, I hear you." And that very next day, I texted my family group chat. I have 3 other siblings, and all 3 of them showed up to my door in less than 10 minutes after I texted them and said, "I need to get out." We packed all my stuff up, moved me into my mom's house, and I've been here for the past 2 years now. I just find it so ironic that did it, but all it takes is faith of a mustard seed. Yeah. So that's my story. It's gonna be
Yep. And this right here, fellas, is the story of a bird. Think about it. What did that man do wrong? This was a man who was trying to take care of a family. All this man wanted was to come home to a virtuous girlfriend or a quality wife. A wife who will know how to pour into him to make him stronger, to make him thrive in life. But instead, he's coming home to a bird who got bird energy, and the only thing that she could do is just pull him down, drain him. And he's trying to change her and tell her how to be a quality woman. But you can't. And look at what the bird did. After this man did all that, she packed her stuff and returned back to the streets just to be a single mother. This happened right after she had his baby. Birds don't want to be saved. Y'all gotta understand that, bro. A bird don't want to be saved. She don't know what to do in the house. You put a bird in the crib because you had a kid with her, she don't know what to do every day. Every day her mind is idle. So she's making stuff up in her head. She wants to argue. She needs drama. She needs turmoil to function. I'm telling y'all, bro, these women, like these birds like this, they got that energy in them, the Jezebel spirit. They can't sit still. They can't empower a man. They can't pour good energy into a man because they lack that, bro. So fellas, man, just understand, as a man, you gotta pay attention to the signs. And once a woman display any signs that she's a bird, just understand you could have your fun. It's okay to have your fun, but you can't save her because she will show you she can't be saved after you invested in her, after you go ahead and get a crib and marry her and put her up. That's when you're going to realize, like, oh shit, this bird can't be saved. But she will pretend like she's the type of chick who can be saved when you first meet her. So fellas, just be wise out here, man, for real. This is what you imagine him being in a hospital trying to deal with COVID and the baby's coming out. Fellas, again, focus on yourself. That's what it is.